Good evening and welcome to another edition of HGP Sport. For today, I'm JADON Samuels. Thanks for joining us. We begin the cast with some cricket news. Guyana Jaguars is in a must-win 8-round day-night fixture against Barbados Pride. However, head coach Ethan Crandon believes the three new inclusion will keep hopes of the sixth consecutive title alive. The details in this report. Winning 3, losing 2 and drawing 2 games places the Guyana Jaguars 31.8 points behind the Barbados Pride. However, the 8th round that bowls off at Providence on Thursday will be the decider on whether the home side makes it 6 on the trot. Kimo Paul, Shamron Hetmeyer and Romario Shepherd, the 3 Windies inclusion, are very critical according to head coach Ethan Crandon, as is the home advantage.
Important, and it's very crucial to have Hetmeyer, Shepherd and Kimo Paul back with us. Obviously they're going to bring a lot to the table. From a bowling perspective, we know what Shepherd and Kimo Paul has to offer, so we're expecting a lot more consistency, and from Hetmeyer's perspective, we know what he's capable with the bat, so we are expecting him to continue to do the same work he's been doing with us and even with the West Indies team. So those guys is a big boost to this team, and they're always welcome, and they're off with West Indies, and we always welcome them back here in Guyana to give back something to the Jaguars, and hopefully we can have the best of them in this game and reflect and impact the performance of this team so we can win this game.
Barbados has won 5 and lost 2 of their 7 games, and the inclusion of the West Indies Test captain Jason Holder makes the contest much more interesting. Crandon still believes the home side will bounce back and improve the 85.8 points standing and bring the bacon home, adding that the day-night fixtures should be handled well.
Our first game in the tournament was day and night, so guys understand how the ping ball operate in the day and during the night, so it's nothing strange for us. But obviously in Guyana the conditions are different here, so we've got to bank on that, our knowledge here in Guyana, and obviously assess on the day and see how things are happening, and then apply the necessary skill and the necessary knowledge throughout the days.
JADON Samuels, HGP Sport. More boxing news. After more than 2 decades, the Carifta Boxing Championship is set to make a comeback, and Guyana is scheduled to play host. Samuel Gillis tells us more.
President of the Guyana Boxing Association, Steve Ninval, in a phone interview with AGP Sport, provided an update on the preparations the GBA is putting in place to host the Carifta Boxing Championship set for April 10th to 12th.
It's more or less like a wait and see, but we've already done all the preparations as it relates to that. But of course, we would want to make sure that there is an atmosphere that is conducive to.
According to him, the current political climate in Guyana has the potential to negatively affect the smooth running off of the championship. He noted that it is imperative to have an environment that is conducive to sportsmanship, and the safety of persons have to be considered since the sport is at an optimum level. At the moment, though, there are no hurdles that cannot be crossed as it relates to difficulties that present themselves in any usual tournament setup. He opined. Out of this competition, Guyana will elect a team to train and prepare for the AMBC Youth Competition that is slated to be held in Trinidad in June this year.
I think that we are about 3 weeks away from that competition, but we still want to have a wait and see as to whether we shall be going ahead or whether we will put a hold on it. As it is right now, yes, we are going ahead with it, but we are cautious about how we are going about it.
All right, great. Are there any other countries? Can you say what countries would have already signed on to coming? And
well,
are there any?
Cayman Islands, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, Dominica, Grenada, Suriname. Those are some of the countries that would have already.
For HGP Sport, I am Samuel Gillis.
Turning our attention to some badminton. Despite medaling in previous tournaments, badminton siblings emerged with a disappointing 4th place in a just concluded championship.
Guyanese badminton champions Nairani Ramdani, who played for the King's University Eagles, and sibling Priyana Ramdani for Old College's Broncos, have won the men and women fourth place spots at the 2020 Canadian Collegiate Athletic Association Badminton National Championships held in Canada. Both Nairani and Priyana won the silver medals at the ACAC Provincial Championships held in Edmonton and qualified to represent Alberta at the CCAA Nationals Over 50. In the CCAA National Championships round-robin group in the men's singles division, Nairani won 2 and lost 3. He defeated Jack Gillis 21-8, 21-9, and Ryan Chen 21-18, 21-18, but lost in the semifinals to Pravan Nashi 21-16, 21-10, and Raymond Kim 21-8, 21-11 to seal fourth position. His sister suffered the same fate as she won 2 and lost 3 by winning her opening round matches when she defeated Hong Lee 21-8, 21-9, and Chloe Mosain 21-8, 21-8, but bowed out in the semifinals and lost team to be on the podium. The Guyana Badminton Association said they are pleased with the siblings' performance, especially for being in the top 4 at the national level. HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard.
Turning our attention to some boxing news, the Guyana Boxing Association has confirmed that the Olympic qualifier set for March 26 to April 4 in Argentina has been cancelled due to concerns of the coronavirus. Here's that story.
National Olympic Committee and the American Boxing Confederation has confirmed the America's Olympic qualifier for boxing has been cancelled because of fear to spread of the coronavirus. Guyana, who had already sent a 4-member team to Cuba in preparation for the upcoming tournament, will now have to shift its focus. Guyana Boxing Association President Steve Ninval described the cancellation as a major setback, but reasoned that it was done for the safety of all involved. He noted that the decision is a disappointing one for Guyana because of the local boxers' intense preparations for the tournament.
We had programmed it that way for them to peak at around next week, so they will be back again and then they would have headed out to the qualifiers. Nevertheless, we do understand the seriousness of the situation. We understand just how serious the spread of the coronavirus is. And so we respect the decision to cancel that tournament.
According to the president of GBA, the cost factor for the tournament now plays a major role since the tickets have already been purchased at a hefty price.
And those monies are not refundable. So, you know, that is a punch that we will have to take. But nevertheless, again, we understand the seriousness about trying to curb the spread or to stop the spread of that virus, and we respect the decision to cancel the qualifier.
Ninval noted that the GBA is planning an international card for early April. This is to keep the boxers active. To this end, he is presently in discussions with Trinidad. Ninval said that he already informed the boxers of the situation and have called President of the Guyana Olympics Association, Juman Yassin, to update him. Efforts to contact Director of Sports Christopher Jones prove futile. For HGP Sport, I am Stanford Howard.
More cricket news. While the West Indies Cricket Board is not too keen on letting Gale back into the senior side, Brian Lara is of the opinion that the upcoming Indian Premier League should be the yardstick used to determine whether Gale will be included. Here's that story. Turning our attention to some cricket news. Playing his last game for the Maroon side back in March 2019, the left-hander, also referred to as the world boss, is still expressing interest in representing the Caribbean side. However, the West Indies Cricket Board is of the opinion that the job is presently being done by the young players. While the WICB had expressed this view, former West Indies captain Brian Lara said the inclusion of Chris Gayle and Dwayne Bravo into the World Cup squad should be dependent on how their 2020 IPL stint all plays out. Arguably the greatest batsman to ever play the game, Brian Charles Lara feels that with the rigorous demands of the Indian Premier League, the WICB would be well informed if the duo can make the cut for the 4-month preparation ahead of the World Cup. Dwayne Bravo, after being absent from the Maroon side for over 3 years, made a comeback in January this year, while Gale has been away from T20s since March of 2019. The IPL is scheduled to bowl off on March 29 with the T20 World Cup fixed for October this year. JADON Samuels, HGP Sport. That concludes our cast for this evening. I'm JADON Samuels, reminding you as always, say yes to life, yes to sport, and no to drugs. Goodbye.